Okay. Okay. All the way back again. That's so dumb. So dumb. Run, Forrest. Come on. I can see in the dark.
Nice to kick back at the broken spear after a long day.
You've got the slate. Let me see. Reduced joint wear? Oh, increased lifting capacity. A dose of this stuff could make a miner way more efficient. This formula's gotta be worth at least as much as whatever Percival owes. Okay, so here's what you do. Tell Octai and the Trade Authority you found a business proposal that will make miners more efficient, higher yield, synergy, you know, all that business crap. And that you'll trade it to him for clearing Percival's debt. You good at doing pitches and stuff like that?
Yeah. Sorry. I can give it a whirl, sure. Why, I could sell ice to cold guy. Okay, it's not my forte. You don't want me to ask for money?
You can try if you feel confident, but I didn't want to push our luck. Besides, if that drug gets big, I think everyone benefits. So, you think you can sell him on it?
I can give it a whirl.
Oh, this is gonna be great. Oh, and here, a copy of the formula for yourself, in case you ever want to try maximizing your own industrial output. Oh, use that if you can. Good luck.
Was there something else?
Yes. I have a business proposed for you, a lucrative one.
I'm never one to turn away an opportunity, but I'd be curious what you think you've uncovered in the Martian market that others have missed.
Turn aquamarine into liquid credits with a patented new phenomenon. Can't make from aquamarine. I glad pick me up.
Aqueous hematite, iron and wastewater.
Well, I'm not surprised no one has proposed something like this before. And exactly what does this new drug of yours do?
Makes the miners more efficient. I got the day here to prove it.
An interesting proposal, if your data pans out. But where's this hematite coming from? The active mines would be too expensive to retool. The deep mines could be an option, but they're full of spacers. Or so I've heard.
Well, those spacers are very dead. You're welcome.
Is that so? Well now, that is intriguing. A completely untapped resource pool, and the sort of utility every mining firm in Sidonia would be clamoring to get their hands on. We could contract out all the actual lab work, bring on one of the hungrier mining concerns for materials, the licensing fees alone. And think what it would do for our image with the general populace. This mine, reopened, thanks to the Martian Trade Authority. Very interesting indeed. And what do you want for the rights to this drug?
Let me think this over.
Unfortunate. Do come back when you change your mind.
Well, that's because I want to save. Okay, well, let's talk to him.
You've returned.
Celebrating over 275 years of living on Mars. The United Colonies are proud to support the citizens of Sidonia.
Wait a minute. Whoa, what if I go and change the debt amount, right? Then I pay off Percival's debt, and then I make a mound of dough. Do that. Oh, can't do that. All right, well, let's go see what that mountain load of credits would be.
You've returned.
This is a promising find, certainly. I can see...
Was that it? Dr. Walker's debt. Consider it cleared. Well, it would seem we have a deal then. Here, your finder's fee.
Nice.
We'll just be taking that slate before you have any second thoughts. It was a pleasure doing business with you, Captain.
Okay, so I got a bunch of credits, and we cleared out his debt. All right.
Much worse. I feel guilty.
All right, let's get this done. Wait, did I want to talk to him?
Yeah?
I took care of Parasol's debt with the Trade Authority.
Did you now? Fine work. My end of the bargain then, I suppose. He's holed up in the old Red Devil's HQ. Place was sealed up tight after the UC shuttered our unit, but we snuck him in the back entrance through the deep mines. Was also going to warn you about spacers down there. But it sounds like you might have already tossed those drakes. Yeah, the passkey. And I'll let him know there's someone he owes one hell of a thank you on their way down.
You kidding me? I gotta go all the way back there. Ah! You... dude. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I should sell some stuff. I have a whole bunch of stuff I don't need.
The community center on P1
We got lots of stuff. Just ask. Take your time. Cool. That's what we do here.
Yep.
See you around.
If you need a little, touch-up, Enhance offers many services such as tummy tucks and rhinoplasty. I'd rather do that than reconstructive surgery from mining accidents. Certainly. Let's get to work on you.
Oh, never mind.
Stay well.
Another day, another limb or digit to reattach due to an easily preventable work accident. Let me guess. You're here because you were working a cutter, accidentally nipped your thumb off, and you need me to reattach it again?
No. But how often does it happen? No, I'm just here to talk. Oh, you're tired too. No, but I have a full bowl of holes I need mending.
I can't honestly tell if you're being serious or not. But you're standing, so it must not be that bad. And I'll take anything over another workplace accident. Sorry. I tend to think the worst, since the overwhelming majority of my patients come here to treat entirely preventable accidents. I know it's my job to help people, and I love doing it, but I do wish they'd be a little more careful down in the mines. I'm Dr. Flynn. What can I do for you today?
Could use some medical supplies.
Sure. Take a look at what I have to offer.
Okay.
Take care.
Watch out for the robots. They're surprisingly sneaky.
How's it?
How's it going? Can I help you? Sounds like a plan. I can also take stuff off your hands too, if that's something you're interested in.
Yes. We're getting the weight down.
Come back anytime.
Alright, let's go buy some nutbags. Whee!
Well, I hope you never need it. Well, you're not missing a limb or bleeding out on me floor, so I'm happy to help. Okay, one moment while I look you over.
Hello.
Really? You came to me for that? Okay. Oh. Well, by all means.
Things are so bad here, why don't you open a practice elsewhere?
Ah, you know, I've been saying that going on 10 years now.
Oh.
You'd think I'd take me own advice. Open up my own practice on a nice, safe world. Maybe settle down with someone.
Right.
I'd be much happier, for sure. But the truth is, the pay is exceptional here, and all these careless Egypts keep me busy. Maybe it's enough to stay with it and retire early instead.
Why do you think there's so many exits around here?
I've often wondered why myself. I've got some theories. From what I hear, the equipment's supposedly not in the best shape, so that's part of it. But I also happen to know the miners can get very competitive, since their bonuses are determined by how well they exceed their quotas. So that leads to a bunch of meatheads going out of their way to avoid following safety precautions, and taking shortcuts to squeeze out a little extra job performance. It's bollocks, that's what it is.
You seem to know about something. Are you okay?
Bollocks. Is that how I come off now? Ah, work's getting to me, I suppose. It's just... You see, no one on this bloody planet seems to follow basic safety precautions. It's always, Dr. Flynn, reattach me arm, or help me with this frostbite. Well, maybe if you took the time to properly dress yourself for the outside, you wouldn't be losing your fingers, you Egypt. Sorry for the rant, just for a change, I'd rather be treating the common cold, and not some horrific yet entirely preventable accident.
Gotcha.
Stay healthy.
Don't worry about it. I got it. Oh, do I have skills? No. Nope, no skills to pay the bills.
Sidonia can have a depressing effect on them.
Man, they got this guy deep. Wow. Let's see. There's gotta be a way up and around.
me out of the red with the Trade Authority. Can't say I don't appreciate it, but I doubt you came all this way just to do me a favor. Now you want to explain to me why you're going around harassing nefarious old men by wiping away their hard-earned debts?
You know how long it took me to find you. Take this damn sample. I'm here to make a delivery for an old colleague of yours, Hadrian Simon. Dr. Walker, I got a tissue sample, need analyze. Full workup.
Hadrian sent you?
Yeah.
Did she look okay?
If you consider getting gored by a Terramorph living as okay, yeah.
A Terramorph? She's fortunate to be alive at all. Hope you two had plenty of backup. So what's this she had you bring all the way down here after putting you in harm's way?
Talgomrit's own free-range 100% human-fit Terramorph cells? Terramorph cells from a world too young to have one.
Hadrian said that, huh?
Yes.
If she made you come all the way for this... Let's get inside. I need to see these cells.
Yeah. It disappeared! Come on. Bethesda, you can't even get the animation in there? Jeez.
Gonna ask you to not touch anything. Got some projects in the works down here. I wasn't expecting guests.
Alright.
Oh, and Lou mentioned how you took care of the debt. Can't say I'm thrilled the Trade Authority got their mitts on the research, but I guess that's the price you pay not to live in a cave the rest of your days.
Yes.
All queued up. Let's gaze into this abyss, shall we?
Indeed.
All right. Just get those cellular markers tagged. Wait. Where are the markers? This can't be right. This sample, it's Londinian. I'll need to get this all in a slate.
Okay.
Hadrian really gave you this sample. You're not lying to me?
Dude, I personally
took
took
it. If you
it.
told me this was a hoax, and it'd be the best damn fake I've ever seen,
No.
I'd be mad and very, very relieved.
No. Zam's not fake. I collected it from the Terramorph myself. If something's wrong with it, talk to Hadrian. I'm just a messenger. So Hadrian wasn't mistaken? The sample's a concern?
Can't just humor an old man, huh?
No.
This sample, it's got all the indicators of the worst Terramorph attack in human history.
Yes.
I presume you've heard of Londinian.
Hadrian mentioned it. Sounds like quite the tragedy.
It was. An entire city wiped off the map.
Mm-hmm.
The swarms were so bad, they had to blow the spaceport and seal the place off from the galaxy at large. Not a lot of samples made it off the world from the time of the attack, but the ones that did, well, they look just like this one.
Really?
I didn't detect any of the telltale signatures this specimen ever sat on a ship while it was alive, either. I don't think it was transported to Tal Ceti. This specimen, it grew there, faster than any Terramorph should. Which means, if we're about to start a new era in human-Terramorph relations, where big, sudden Londinian-style attacks can happen outside Londinian, that's not gonna end well for humanity.
Yeah.
So, you lugged this bad omen all the way here. You want to tell me what your plans are for it now?
Dang, he's like laying on me like that. Holy crap, I got a lot of options. But you said Londinium attack was massive, right? Why is one odd Terramorph so scary? We're leaving. Try not to slow me down. Get your boots on. We're going to stop any more attacks before they start. Orders are to take you to analysis to Hadrian. She will be waiting at the 6th circle. But you said the
Fifth
London.
off on me?
No.
Because until now, the Terramorphs that wiped out Londinian had the good sense to stay put. What happened there? It was a tragedy, but at least it was contained. So to find evidence for a similar attack on a different world, well, we don't have enough information to know precisely what this means. But I doubt it's good. So I'd love to know what it is you're planning from here. Music to my ears. Here, faster we take the lift to the surface.
Yep.
Not supposed to use it, but given the circumstances, I'm inclined to just ask forgiveness. Let's get going.
Yeah. I mean, this kind of matches, man. Seriously. You coming, dude? Come on, Walker. Just because your name's Walker doesn't mean you need to be a walker. You're just gonna stand there. Dang, dude. You gonna, like, follow me all the way? Alright. You coming, old man? Nowhere to be found. Mr. Walker, you be walking. Christopher Walken. I need a little more cowbell. And that Walker guy is nowhere to be found. Yes.
Percival.
While indulging in alcoholic beverages is not deterrent,
You're an old man now.
operating heavy machinery while under the influence
You're no hassling yourself anymore, Major.
and those around you.
Our friend here showed me your
Please
sample.
always
Suffice
drink
it to say,
responsibly.
Not here. Let's talk somewhere more private. Lou said we could use the back. Lou gave me the abridged version of what went down. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for taking care of all that.
Yeah.
makes two of us.
I hope it ultimately didn't end up being too much trouble.
I think I'll go with a little more gunfire than usual. Like on my delivery jobs, but nothing I couldn't manage.
That's certainly not what I was expecting you'd have to go through. But thank you. I'm just glad you both came through intact.
I'm fine.
So, were you two able to get that workup together?
Got it right here. That sample? It's an exact match for the ones from Londinian.
Londinian. That's exactly what I was afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
Not thrilled to be the bearer of that kind of news. That's for damn sure. So tell me you've got some kind of plan for that workup.
Well, right now, we've got more questions than answers. So I've been trying to figure out what it's gonna take to access our old Terramorph data.
Good place to start. What'd you find?
It's in the archives.
The Armistice Archives? Doesn't that mean we'd be dealing with the Cabinet? And the Freestar Collective? And House Varun somehow? Guess we can kiss that approach goodbye.
I didn't think the cabinet would be willing to hear us out either. But I called in some favors. They've agreed to hear us out on 2 conditions. 1, they want to see this analysis you two have procured. And 2, they want to discuss what happened on Tau Ceti with both of us.
Yeah, that's cool. What's the Armistice Archives? What's that have to do with the Freestar Collective and Vows Faroon?
Well, when the Colony War came to a close 19 years ago, with the signing of the Armistice, 3 factions were involved in the negotiations. The UC, Freestar, and House Faroon. They made a lot of decisions about what sort of tactics should and shouldn't be permitted in future conflicts. All information related to the things they decided should be banned was locked away in the archives. Now, it's possible to get things out of there, but only with the agreement of members from all 3 factions.
Gotcha.
And as to what our research is doing in there, well, I'll get to that.
The cabinet, what's that?
The cabinet's the UC's highest governing body.
Okay.
The president, top military brass, scientific and diplomatic division heads. Any major decision the UC makes goes through them.
Okay.
They're the only real chance we've got of unlocking the archives. So without their blessing, we're flying blind.
Gotcha. If all you need is some charm, the higher up, some of your guy. Doesn't sound like any run-of-the-mill data you're after. I'll take that explanation now.
Of course. You deserve the full story. Percival and I, we're not just researchers. We were military scientists, ran a division of the UC together that deployed aliens on the battlefield as weapons.
Place I was hiding out. That was our unit's home base.
After some early fits and starts at other facilities, the place eventually became the heart of UC Xeno warfare.
Okay.
A practice that's been banned ever since the armistice went into effect almost 20 years ago. And the UC military cut us loose for what we'd done.
Then what does that make you do too? Is UC gonna throw me in prison for helping you?
No. We were both dismissed after the war for what we did. These days, we're just concerned citizens with a very particular area of expertise. Our damage has been done for a long time.
I was wondering if you were going to share that nugget with me. Still didn't explain the Terramorph data is doing in the archives. I actually know who you are and your past. Well, that's none of my concern. No.
Oh. Well, that means a lot. It's not something I'm exactly proud of.
Well.
But it was during that assignment that the UC asked us to explore deploying Terramorphs on the battlefield. The project never got off the ground, but the data our team gathered is now sitting in the archives, along with all the other information banned after the Colony War. Under the watchful eye of monitors from all the galactic factions still participating in regular politics. But if we can convince the cabinet to help us access that data, it'll give us the tools we need to decipher what exactly this sample might mean.
Okay.
And hopefully, how to prevent more attacks like the one that spawned it.
Why should I trust you with this data? How do I know it's not dangerous? No. Why wouldn't the cabinet agree to help us? No. I'm gonna need some time to think about this? No. I'm not exactly thrilled about keeping information from me, but I guess I can help you? No. Okay, let's talk to the cabinet.
All right. I'm gonna go get this work up into the cabinet's hands. I'll meet you out front of Mast in New Atlantis.
Good luck. You two are gonna need it.
Be advised to secure this article and find stable ground to remain seated in the
Ever been to a
Detonation
keeper?
occurred
Those security
in 5,
controls are way
4,
cooler than anything we
3, 2.
I want to finish this out. Let's see where this goes. This honestly seems more like a main storyline.
Particle detonation concluded.
This sounds like it should be a mainline story. I'm glad I'm doing it. Oh yeah. Any skill points yet? No. Pop it. Take off. Okay. Let's I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the Starborn. But why would the Starborn do that?
Captain! Over here! The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it.
Okay.
But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier.
Doesn't matter.
So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there.
Sure.
My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance.
You don't say.
The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians.
Okay.
Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
Okay. Are there other programs still out there? Other clones?
I'm the last.
Oh.
A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like.
Oh.
But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back. Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
You're a clone of a man. How's that work?
A non-trivial amount of gene editing. Clone, honestly, isn't even really the right term for our relationship, thanks to the amount of donor material that was required to bring me into this world. He and I are different on more than a few levels, but there's no denying the fact we're inextricably linked.
Okay. This baby must have been impressive command for the UC to want to clone him.
He would have happily told you he was one of the greats. Ultimately, though, it didn't matter. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides. Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
What did your father merit to do being executed?
He had his men open fire on civilian ships during the Battle of Cheyenne. A battle that he ultimately ended up losing anyway, devastating the UC fleet and bringing the colony war to an ugly end for the UC. But he's also the one who ordered the bombing of the Londinian spaceport during their outbreak, condemning countless lives. Both sides agreed the settled systems would be better without him.
Well, and I thought my family was messed up. So you're using me to distract him. Great. I'm not sure I can blame them. This family here doesn't sound like they were paragons of virtue. You're not your father. If the cabinet doesn't see that, that's their problem, not yours.
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know.
I appreciate
considering
that.
how much you've done already.
Yeah, I've done some
while
stuff.
we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here.
Your eyes, they're red. Is that the result of the cleaning process?
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars.
Oh, okay.
The Red Devils unit I was a part of. They were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Gotcha. Cool. Are you willing to tell me any more about your father?
I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the colony war, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
Any suggestions on what I should say to the cabinet?
It's hard to know exactly what might sway them. I'd just be honest about what you saw. A colony wiped out, and a lot of lives lost. Something we don't want anyone else to have to experience.
Don't see where the rest of us accessing the data. I actually need to go take care of a few things.
Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed. The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Don't have any questions, no?
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue. Hello. Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the... Thanks of the day.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Yup. Thanks, don't keep my ship feel, ma'am. Just followers. Adrian made it clear that addressing this issue required the utmost urgency.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a Surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives.
Yes.
A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Yes.
Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data. We need the archive data to find a way to possibly stop a terraform apocalypse. I'm just here to talk about what happened. Adrian's the one with the grand plans.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations.
Yeah.
To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
Well,
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask, how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act? 50? 50,000?
Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this Terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
Fuck yeah. Oh, excuse my language. Oh my god, dude. No, ma'am, nothing special to report. Really? What is that answer? I only know what I was told. The tissue mesh, she's the one who's from London. It wiped out a colony that never saw it coming. That's pretty alarming.
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Yes, a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
And President, if it were me, I wouldn't grant the request. The archives are sealed for a reason. Personally, I wouldn't wait. We don't have enough information yet. Yes, if the fear is the data being weaponized, the Terramorphs program failed. The data is not dangerous. If there's any chance what happened on town could happen elsewhere, we need to grant the request.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
Yeah.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
Yeah, I know.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to...
Oh, snap.
An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Oh, snap.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling?
At the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God. There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture later.
I have a pretty good
Chief
idea.
Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
Yeah, don't you worry, I got this.
Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Really? Where the heck is the elevator? Let's go!
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
What in the world?
We're trying to help you! Please! I can't stop!
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got. What are you doing? EM fire, Captain!
Ah, really? Alright. Are you serious? Let's go. What am I supposed to do?
We have to help them.
Nothing? Okay.
Let's just talk to the troopers, right?
You did find the EM weapon, right?
Thank God you got here when you did.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish it hadn't come to that.
Well, you know.
Yeah, what the hell happened back there, Captain? There's no excuse for using lethal force here.
I'm sorry I messed up. Did what's necessary to save the people. You pronounce thinking saving lives very strangely.
Or you could have used the EM gun like you were ordered. These are lives you're playing with here. So get your head in the game. Understand? Now, officer, the way those people were acting, I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorphs' influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection.
Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Okay. Does this mean we don't worry about you turning on me? Are you to control someone's mind? If someone comes at me, I'm putting them down.
Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Okay. Go. You didn't explain I need to use the EM weapon.
No time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move.
Order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
Stand there! Good!
Alright. Screw that thing. Okay.
You won't be leaving here alive.
Uh-huh.
Shh. It hurts.
Stop! Don't shoot! We're friendly!
X-bots? We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with Terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here, but we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us.
I want you watching her back. Check that.
Roger that. We're on you. Eyes open.
What are you doing, Hadrian?
Wait's almost as bad as the fighting. Not in a million years. Another attack. Just as we're making our request, it's
insane. If this doesn't convince the cabinet to proceed with our request, I don't know what will. Not in a million years. If this doesn't... All right, back at it.
Closer. Closer. Closer now.
What is this, a new surprise? Let's see how quickly it can stop.
Come on.
Go tell the sergeant what happened.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. I guess our people weren't so lucky.
But they signed up for it. Not my fault they couldn't hack it. Don't worry. We're going to get the bottom of what happened here today. The sacrifice was in vain. The city is safe now.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you.
That's right.
The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time.
Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Nothing's getting to the cabinet.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, Captain.
What's up?
Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs well, consider them validated.
You think?
Thank you, ma'am.
I take my grad in credit, real estate, and luxury. Are you kidding me? Wow. Better late than never, I suppose. Agreed, thank you.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner.
I don't know if it made
Now,
a difference.
Today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet.
You think?
You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks.
Yeah, that's kind of
But
important.
to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places.
Yeah.
As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now.
You're talking about me,
The
aren't
Cabinet
you?
wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
I had a feeling. Me? Why not send a diplomat? Someone trained for this sort of thing. Tell me what I'm getting into first, and I'll consider it. I can't be your representative. I'm just some vanguard nobody. If you're sure that's the wisest course of action, tell me what I'm getting into first, and I'll consider it.
The very next item on my list. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
And what do I get for being a UC citizen?
It has its perks. Only citizens can purchase property in the city. We also pay reduced prices on most goods and services across the UC. There's also a credit disbursement when you first join. Help get you on your feet. But above all, you'd become a dedicated part of the greatest faction in the galaxy. If you're willing to help us, we can open that door. I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives.
Okay.
You should be able to find her in her office across the hall.
Okay.
And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
Okay.
The things we do here, the tech we develop, benefits all of humanity.
Excuse me?
These orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs.
Yes.
I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude.
Yeah, it was
I
pretty
was
crazy.
also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet.
Yes.
Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're
Yes.
going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
They're a repository for all the band data in Colony War.
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players.
Correct.
Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. but that's a lot easier said than done.
Probably. Fort? No. Sure doesn't sound easy. No problem. I'm gonna need some electrodes, a tooth extractor, and sodium. What? No. I think they'll be clamoring for help after the spaceport attack.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us.
Okay.
Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
Yeah.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here.
No, I get that.
Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with.
Okay.
Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varoon?
Let's go with Radcliffe.
The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
All right, tell me about those other tools then.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters.
What?
Which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
Nice.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Any other things I should avoid doing inside the embassy? We could tell me the
Name's
staff member.
Cameron Long.
Cameron Long?
He's younger than Ratcliffe, bears less of a grudge towards the UC. He works closely with the ambassador, making him a promising source for information on the ins and outs of embassy life, and someone who very likely hates her guts.
Jeez.
Yes, many. Don't steal anything. Don't get caught anywhere you're not supposed to. Absolutely do not harm anyone.
Okay.
If something goes wrong, we'll do our best to smooth things over, but I can't make any promises.
Okay.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up, you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Okay. Tell me about Ambassador Balmore of House Varoon.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varoon retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here.
Okay.
He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varoon thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
Why, what's wrong with House Varoon?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varoon Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varoon did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Wow.
Of course, but there is another wrinkle. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive.
Oh, God.
His public appearances were always rare. But it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Okay.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
Mm-hmm. What do I do if he's dead?
Then you search the embassy for his biometric key, collect your code piece, and we'll go about notifying his next of kin, if we can ever find them. But let's hope it doesn't come to that.
Wait, no one's actually been inside the embassy?
The embassy is still legally House Varun's sovereign territory, so we're not technically permitted inside. We've snuck in the occasional spy, of course, but the ambassador has proven more evasive than you'd expect for a man of his age. But we're quite sure he hasn't left the city. The man stands out.
What kind of life signs did you check the embassy?
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy. It seems those plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
Okay. Alrighty. Well then. You know, before I end this,
Hello.
I want to go talk to my peoples. Let's see. I guess we'll go to his office. We need to, talk to, our peoples.
Captain, Admiral Logan informed me of your part in halting the attacks. Whole damn city owes you. Now, what do you need?
Can you tell me more about the United Colonies System Defense Group?
You can just call them SysDef. Everyone else does. They're the division responsible for combating the Crimson Fleet, fighting pirates. It's not a small job, keeping the galaxy's mercantile class safe from death and dismemberment, so they're constantly undermanned. They work out of the ship, the UC Vigilance, though the support request was a little vague on what your actual duties would be if you decided you want to lend a hand.
Captain, I have been idling and
As much as I
awaiting my
love
next
uncovering
order
new
for
questions,
some
I
time
wouldn't
now.
mind a few answers now and then.
You know very well I don't publicly disclose my investment strategies.
You mean what could be the biggest discovery in the history of humanity? Yeah, I've got some thoughts. Scans are still inconclusive, but I think we've seen enough to know that we're dealing with something potentially even more unusual than the artifacts. There are so many questions beyond just who are they? How did they find you? How do they know about the artifacts? Why has no one ever seen them before?
Don't worry, we'll get the answers.
They did openly threaten you, as I understand it. I'd say that's something to worry about. It was one thing when this was just about us investigating the artifacts. A weird phenomenon that didn't come with creepy threats or questions about aliens or whatever it is that's going on now. I know we'll figure it all out in the end. It's just kind of a lot right now.
You have no idea.
Stay safe, okay?
Oh, wait a
It's
minute.
been quieter around here ever since. See you later.
I hope, lately, I find myself spending more and more time here. Business has appealed to me, but this is exciting.
What are you doing about?
It's hard not to feel some regret, even some blame. No one is individually responsible, but I am the one paying the bills. But at least now, we really know the stakes. What we might lose if we go forward, and I think we need to go forward.
Yeah, you think? Can't we up now? Not after everything we've been through.
Agreed. We stop now, and they win. I'm not accustomed to losing.
Yep. Nope.
Constellation needs to see this through, no matter what.
Yep. So about that Sebastian Banks speech.
Oh, right. I was afraid you were going to bring that up again. Very well. Let's see if I embarrass myself or not. My colleagues, I venture out into the darkness of space once again. Many of you have expressed concern. At my age, you say, surely the risks are too great. Surely Sebastian Banks has earned the rest. Nonsense, I say. To go out into the unknown, to brave the possibility of never coming back, to ignite the spark of hope that humanity will find answers out there in the stars, that is all I have ever wanted. If this last expedition is my time, then I say I have been fortunate. I have been fortunate to leave surrounded by people who could not be more different from one another, but who share a common purpose. That, dare I say, I am fortunate. My soul has a home it can always come back to. And that was the last thing Sebastian Banks ever said in the lodge before he disappeared. And Constellation has been waiting for him to come home ever since. You're doing Constellation proud.
I think I'm doing a lot of people proud, but yep.
You're handling this whole captain thing really well, you know. Listen, you risked your life to save me. I keep wondering if that made it harder to save Sam too. I've replayed those moments in my mind over and over. And you need to know that you did what a leader does. And if it had been me instead of him, I would feel at peace knowing that he made it.
It's impossible to consider the what ifs.
I know, but I can't help it. I don't know if you're ready to talk, or if you need 20 years to get to that point, or if you never want to talk about it again. But I just want you to know that if you do, I'm here for you. Sometimes it just comes down to that. It is what it is.
Yep. I'm just relieved we didn't lose more people.
Of course. Could have been so much worse. We are all Constellation. When a star goes nova, it can destroy everything nearby, or it can nourish a new era of planets and life and everything that goes with it. The galaxy is littered with the deaths of so many brilliant, wonderful stars. But if stars never went nova, then we wouldn't be who we are now.
Damn the core.
I don't know. We'll take care of her. I'm sure we will. We'll figure it out. Still doesn't make it easier for anybody,
even you. But you did what you had to do. We all know that. Sam was my buddy. He was practical and goofy and a genuinely decent man.
Yep.
He would never want you to feel like this rotten situation was your fault. I promise you that.
Yeah, I know.
Yes, we need to expect it and prepare. You know, we're fortunate. Constellation brought us all together and we're all better for it. If we're going to set things right, it's going to be because of that.
You have my attention.
Hey, girl.
I have been thinking about what we talked about before. The idea of purpose in one's life. You told me that fun was important. I assumed you were joking and dismissed it out of hand. But, having thought about it, I wonder now if you were right. Or at least, if I were too quick to reject the idea. I have been single-minded in my pursuits. I have always believed the decisions I made were necessary. That there was no other option. I have sacrificed much to be where I am now. And I'm starting to wonder if it has been worth it.
You're the only one that can answer that. It doesn't matter. There's no way to change the past. If you got here, then it was right. If it's okay to have doubts. Just don't let them paralyze you. You should have this discussion some other time. No.
Thank you. I have always believed, no, hoped that is true. I have told you that I am not one to discuss my past. And yet...
Whatever you've done, I won't hold it against you. You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to. We've always done things we regret. Our past should never define us.
No, that is not what I am trying to say. I promised to provide for my family. That meant working with smugglers to procure supplies we could not acquire any other way. I have spent my adult life away from my home, jumping from one planet to the next, living in dangerous conditions, often surrounded by violence.
Clearly taken.
This is true, but I have only experienced my own.
Yep.
I was convinced from the beginning that it was unwise to let anyone get too close. I had, maybe not quite friends, but people I cared about. Yet there was always a distance I could not reach across. I often find other people complicated and confusing. It seemed easier to not become attached, especially when circumstances meant I might never see them again, with no warning.
I can understand that. Going alone has always worked for me. Our social security life is better when it's around with others.
Until now, I have disagreed strongly with that idea.
I know.
But therein lies my concern. What I am trying to say is that I now wonder whether it has been the right decision to distance myself from others.
No, I understand. I'm here for you if you need me. Don't let this get in the way of our mission. Everyone has baggage. It's how you deal with it that matters. Keep things piled up isn't a good idea. We'll go with the first one.
I appreciate that more than you know. Yes?
You ready to head back out?
Of course. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm ready, girl. Let's go! Let's go, Andrea! The Magus Adrea party is back in session. Though I haven't seen Sarah to talk to her about things. Is she even here?
Captain, may I be of assistance on your ship?
Maybe in a moment of Vasco. Guess she's out and about.
Captain, I am fully updated and ready to assist with tasks.
Well, we've gone long enough. And in this stream. Alright. And we're back. So, very interesting. Nothing more was found at that location. Kind of disappointing. It seemed like there could be a setup, which was kind of cool. Again, Bethesda, you're letting me down. I don't know if it's just a hint, is what it was supposed to be, that, hey, maybe the Starborn are involved. It would have been cool if we could have talked to the Constellation people, tell them what's been going on, and be like, oh, yeah, you saw Starborn there? Because we're not telling other people about the Starborn. Be like, yeah, and they'd be like, oh, and they would be kind of crazy, and it would do some story and maybe unlock something else, and it would have been kind of cool. But no. Now, it might still be the case that Starborn are involved, but it just seems like me. I'm seeing these things, and I want to talk to my Constellation people about it, but nope. Nope. So, yeah. So, we'll leave that as is. I like the story. This seemed like a mainline story. This did not seem like a side quest, to be honest with you. I enjoyed it profusely. I'm a captain now. Captain! And, yeah, so we'll see how the sneak goes for the diplomats. I'm not entirely sure. The cool thing is I do have that suit that will make me invisible. Don't know how well that will go. We'll see. So if you like what you saw, please give me a follow. I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 9:30 at twitch.tv/gamingwithmacus. And of course, please give me a follow, as it costs you nothing but can help me out. Try to get to 50. I'm at 46 followers. And of course, we chop these up like a Terramorph and put them up on YouTube and Rumble. So please give me a like and a subscribe there. I greatly appreciate it. But until next time, stay adventurous.